What do you see when you look in the mirror? April 27, 2016. We will discuss today a subject that seems necessary as we see you, in some instances, losing focus and hope, as you do not perceive in your surroundings the things for which you have been hoping. Let us point out some of the things that you have missed or not placed enough importance upon. You want to see a great and lasting change burst upon your world, solving all of the perceived problems that you observe around you. Stop and think for a moment how very catastrophic that could be in the short term. Your higher selves, those with whom we work constantly, agree with us, in fact have requested, that while these changes are necessary, it will be far better for all concerned if they are brought about in a much more gradual manner. We have spoken of this before. This slower implementation of the changes, because of the importance that you correctly place upon them, and because of the perceived slowness of the passing of time in their regard, is causing many of you to think that nothing is happening when the truth is that everything is happening. We have also said this before. Now, at the same time that you perceive change to happen so slowly, or not at all, you also have the impression that time is fleeing past faster than ever. Is this not so? This is the surest indication that time, as you know it, is truly a relative thing. You are seeing the same phenomenon as you see when you notice that time flies or seems to stand still depending upon what you are going through at the moment. Now, let's look at that mirror we were speaking of, the mirror that you call the outside world that is really only a reflection of your collective inner field of vibrational energy. First we will ask whether or not you are aware of change occurring in the political climate you see. You do see that, of course, regardless of how you interpret it. Do you see such changes also happening in other countries? Is Russia's relationship to the world any different? Has great change happened in Canada? Has China's role in the world changed? Are indigenous people rising up in efforts to defend their world? Is the world's financial and economic structure changing at all? And lastly, but certainly the most important, is your own interior life changing in any way? All of the things we mentioned above really are only, as we said, a mirror of humanity's current consciousness. We would point out to you that there are extremely great and vastly important changes afoot, even as you read this. In hindsight, you will know that your entire world will have evolved tremendously almost overnight. We want you to see this happening so that you are able to understand where the real changes have occurred and so that you are able to give credit to yourselves for making it happen. Only that knowledge will allow you to own your own power. And the taking back of your own power is one of the most important things that you must do now. This has many implications for your world as well as for your own lives. Many millennia of having the power over your lives exercised by others is the cause of all the great problems that the world is experiencing. This is becoming more and more obvious. And the very unmistakable nature of this is exactly what has prompted so many of you to at last take up the banner of change. As has been recently stated by one of your leaders, enough is enough. So you see, change is happening. It is happening quite rapidly. And the tipping point, that point from which there will be no return, has indeed been passed. There are interests that would love to put the genie back into the bottle, but such will never be. They are those who would continue separateness and self-interest at the expense of others, and the divine has decreed that that time has passed. And we would have you understand now why it is so important that you have been allowed to do this for yourselves. You need to know, beyond doubt, who you are, and what you can accomplish because of who you are. Not being able to know that is what allowed your world to reach the state it was in for so long. Knowing that is what is ending the problem. And further, having experienced its happening will qualify you to be teachers in times and places you cannot yet even imagine. Know also the immense love and respect that you are held in upon these planes and dimensions. Feel our presence as we support you. Always know that you are never alone. Good day. Channeled by Ron Head. RonAhead.com